Bracket set, bubbles burst. The 68-team field for the men's NCAA basketball tournament has been set. The #1 ranked Houston Cougars leading a large contingent of Texas teams into the big dance. Good afternoon, I'm Cheryl Mercedes. KHOU 11 is your Houston home for the Final Four, but a lot of games have got to be played before a champion is crowned. March Madness is upon us, and here's a look at all of the Texas teams that made it into the tournament. But this evening, we will turn our attention to UH and TSU. We have live team coverage for you, beginning with our all-star point guard, Jason Bristol. Hey, Jason, busy afternoon.
Yes, no doubt. Thank you, Cheryl. I am no Chris Paul, but I am here to distribute the rock. We're going to start with the Cougs. Of course, they lost the AAC tournament title game today in Fort Worth, but still received the second overall seed in this tournament. They will be the top seed in the Midwest, where they will face Northern Kentucky in the first round. That game is Thursday in Birmingham, Alabama. Time TBD. Now, our Daniel Gotera with the Cougs in Fort Worth. Daniel, what's the mood of the team considering where this team is heading and, of course, how today's AAC tournament final ended for Houston?
Yeah, you know what, Jason? I mean, look, they would have loved to win this game here in Fort Worth against Memphis, but beating a team 3 times in one season is tough. Memphis, a very good basketball team. They're going to the NCAA tournament as well. U of H walked into the room for the Selection Sunday show. They were, you know, a little sad, a little upset that they lost this game, but, you know, quickly, Kelvin Sampson snapped them back to reality. And as you can see the video of their reaction, Sampson telling his team right before that announcement, hey, guys, get your phones out. We earned this spot in the NCAA tournament. Only 4 teams get a #1 seed, and that's exactly where the Cougars are. Here's Coach Sampson talking about this selection and how big it is for this program.
Coach, you told your guys as you were watching this show, you earned it. This doesn't happen to a lot of teams. 4 teams get a #1 seed. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really proud of the program. Of course, when Greg was talking, it was hard not to think back to 2014. You know, the shape of the program, the apathy, you know, resources, facilities, and look where we are now. So it's a great accomplishment. Really, really proud of the program, not just this team, but all the programs that came before that we stand on their shoulders. You know, huge appreciation to what everybody's done to help us get where we are, our staff, our kids more importantly. So being a 1 seed is a tremendous accomplishment and kind of pretty cool knowing where we started.
Yeah, one of the only things that was left in doubt heading into Selection Sunday is exactly which region they would be in. Now, it was a bit of a surprise that they were in the Midwest. A lot of people thinking that Kansas would be in that spot, but they are going to the Midwest. They will face Northern Kentucky, and this team will be ready to go on Thursday, that's for sure, Jason.
And Daniel, another big question mark is obviously the health of Marcus Sasser. He did not play in this tournament championship game. What can you tell us about his availability?
Well, we talked to Marcus afterwards, and he says he feels confident that he will be 100% for that opener against Northern Kentucky. I did ask him if he could have gone today if it was the NCAA tournament. He says he didn't know, but he is feeling better 24 hours after the injury happened to his groin. He went down. It was a scary situation. I know a lot of Cougs fans held their breath there for a moment, but he got treatment at the hotel overnight. He's feeling a lot better, and if we all know Marcus Sasser, we know that he's going to want to be out on that floor, and Coach Sampson says he wants to be him moving around well. He wants to see him be able to do what he does best on the floor. And I think Marcus Sasser will be out there if we know him. Jason?
And, of course, that's the entire reason he came back to school instead of turning pro. So, Daniel, thanks. We're going to be coming back to you in just a moment. But now let's focus on Texas Southern. That's right, the Tigers coming off a 3rd straight SWAC postseason championship. Tigers will face Fairleigh Dickinson in that first 4 game. It will be Wednesday. It will air on True TV. Just like U of H's game, we're still waiting on a time. But again, Texas Southern is in the first 4. Matt Musil with the Tigers right now, joining us live from TSU selection party, which of course they were Very excited to be there, Matt, but there was some interesting drama, a sideshow there for a minute when it came to the selection as CBS messed up the graphic.
Oh, man, I hate to have to apologize for our network, right? Well, the Tigers got into town in the wee hours. They flew in. Coach Johnny Jones said they got in about 1 or 1:30, but that didn't quell the enthusiasm when their name was finally announced. Let me show you the video of that because they were excited. As you said, there was a little bit of a fumble on CBS Sports regarding this because they had the wrong schools up there, but then they flipped it. Everybody realized that, yes, it's Texas Southern, Fairleigh Dickinson, and as you said, Jason, it will be Wednesday up in Dayton. The Tigers going to the dance for the 3rd straight year, and joining me now is the man in charge, Johnny Jones. Johnny, this is tremendous. The president of the school was out here. You've got the athletic director out here. These guys are excited. They know what they did last year, winning the first game. They want to do that again.
We're excited having the president and athletic director here along with a bunch of our fans to celebrate with their team, to have an opportunity to look at that TV and be a part of what we think the greatest show on earth, March Madness, and finding out who you're going to play, who your opponent's going to be. We drew Fairleigh Dickinson, and we couldn't be more excited for this next opportunity to take this next step next week.
I want to go back to last night. P.J. Henry came up big. It seemed like every time Grambling made a surge, P.J. Henry out of Shadow Creek High School came up big for you.
Well, I tell you, he's done a super job for us. Last year, he was MVP of the tournament. Fortunate that he was MVP again, and it took an MVP effort to hold Grambling off on yesterday. And PJ's our leader. He's our floor general, and unfortunately, he wasn't with us probably the first 9 games of our conference play. But now that he's back, I think he's got his wheels under him, and he's helped make our team and put our team in a certain place, and that's why I think we were able to secure a championship on yesterday.
Yeah, I want to touch on that because that's the big subject with the University of Houston Cougars is Marcus Sasser, their top guy, is out. And you've had a number of injuries all season long. People say, wait a minute, this is a 20-loss team, and they're in the NCAA tournament. So you've got some doubters. Hey, you love that, don't you? You're going to try to prove them all around doubting you.
Well, we've had some illnesses, and unfortunately, we've had some untimely injuries as well. But our guys never hang their head. They continue to fight and battle. That's when a lot of the guys got a lot of experience, and it showed yesterday because we had some young guys that had to step up and play. They played a special role yesterday, and they wouldn't have been provided that opportunity had it not been for the injuries and the illness, and so it played out in their favor. Unfortunately, Sasser's down. Hopefully he gets back because it's a tough chemistry thing when you got guys as great a player as Sasser not available to you and how he's really impacted that team. So we're hopeful that he'll be back next week with those Cougars.
All right. I thought it was interesting, but your guys were like, oh, wait a minute, we didn't get U of H. They were disappointed. Johnny, thank you so much, and we'll see you down the road. Good luck to you.
Thanks so much. We're excited, and go Tigers.
Johnny Jones, the head coach at Texas Southern. Oh, boy, I tell you, the team has a great advantage, Jason, with Johnny on their side. He's been through the wars, so he knows how to get this together late in the season, even though the regular season they didn't have a great record. Back to you, man.
Thanks so much. And yeah, I mean, you bring that up, 20 losses. Doing the research, the NCAA says that this is the first time that a 20-loss team has made the NCAA tournament field of 64, now 68, since the field expanded back in the mid-'80s. So again, this is the first time that we do have a 20-loss team. Texas Southern 14-20 facing a Fairleigh Dickinson team, which is 19-15. Now, do we have Matt and Daniel still with us, guys? All right, so we still have these guys with us.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I think when we look at this bracket, Midwest region, you've got Texas and Texas A&M and Houston all in the same bracket. What is our instant reaction to that? Because it seems a bit odd that the NCAA would put all of those schools in the same bracket.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, talking about the Cougars that are heading to the Midwest region, I think that
Why don't you go, Daniel? I'm sorry. I wasn't a good point guard there.
That's all right. You threw the ball out of bounds. No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. No problem. Look, I think the Cougars head into the Midwest region, and that was one of the things that stood out to me, too. I think the NCAA missed a really big opportunity to spread out these Texas teams. Look, Texas has been playing really well. A&M got to the conference tournament title. They've been playing really well. Anybody can go on a run. Can you have imagined if these teams are separated across all these brackets and then they converge on Houston? I'm sure that was kind of the thinking. The NCAA didn't want that to be a huge Texas-sized party, although we would have loved that in Houston. But that potential matchup in the Elite Eight in Kansas City between U of H and Texas, two future Big 12 foes, I mean, you can only dream of that potential and that possibility. That's going to be some kind of atmosphere if that is able to go down.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be tough. You know, initial reaction, someone said, boy, Houston's going to have a, how are they going to do this? I'm like, we're going to play U of H basketball. As long as Marcus Sasser is back, they can still win it all. Going through a couple of teams in Texas, it's not going to be easy. I was a little surprised, as Daniel said, to have Texas in the same region. As I touched on right as we were talking with head coach Johnny Jones, when it was announced that U of H would not be, the opponent for University of Houston, it wouldn't be the Texas Southern Tigers. They're, oh man, we wanted those guys. That's because they're friends and they know them. But it's going to be tough for Houston for sure, but whatever region they're in, whatever bracket they're in, it's going to be tough to put 4 great games together to get to the Final Four. And it's just a great time for college basketball in the state of Texas. You guys remember, it wasn't that long ago, pretty sparse the number of teams that were getting into the NCAA tournament from our state. But boy, to have 7 teams, that is outstanding.
All right, Matt Musil at Texas Southern. Daniel Gotera with the Cougs in Fort Worth. Guys, thank you so much. And of course, we'll have much more tonight on Sports Extra after the news. And when we're talking hoops, we're going to be breaking down everything in these brackets, the surprise teams, what we think will be the Final Four as it eventually winds up in Houston. And of course, that's all tonight on Sports Extra. Cheryl, let's send it back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Jason. Well, we should also note that the bracket for the women's tournament is being revealed during a show on ESPN tonight. Meanwhile, people responsible for bringing the men's Final Four to Houston this year held their own Selection Sunday watch party. Our Maria Aguilera is live in the Heights with the Houston Local Organizing Committee. A big day there, Maria.
Cheryl, today is just the beginning of what's to come, and we're told by the local organizing committee that they have been waiting for this moment as it's really the launching point to March Madness and the Final Four. People here are excited because there are going to be a lot of events coming here to Houston as we are the host city. And to talk about all of those events, we have with us Holly Kesterson, who is the president of the local organizing committee for the 2023 NCAA Men's Final Four. That is a mouthful, but there's going to be so much going on. Holly, thank you for joining us. Talk to us about what is so special about hosting the Final Four here in Houston and what people can expect in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. There's nothing like March Madness. It is just such an exciting time. But to have the best of basketball coming to Houston in just a couple of weeks, that's pretty exciting.
And I know there's going to be a lot going on, right? There's going to be so many events, including a music festival and so much more. So there's going to be a lot for people that love basketball, but there's also going to be so much more for everyone here.
Yeah, whether you're a diehard basketball fan, which of course this will be the place for you, or you have a family and kids, there's always activities around Final Four for everybody. Whether it's the Fan Fest presented by Capital One, which is at George R. Brown Convention Center downtown, the music festival, which you mentioned, which is in Discovery Green Park, or even the dribble presented by Buick. If you have kiddos, get on ncaa.com/men's Final Four to find out about all the family events that we have going on.
Perfect. So really something for everyone of all ages. Thank you so much, Holly, for joining us. We appreciate it. And if you want more details and more information on what's to come and all of the events, you can also visit KHOU.com. Cheryl, back to you.
Absolutely. We've been working hard on this, and we've got you covered. Thank you so much, Maria Aguilera. Hey, don't forget to take part in the KHOU 11 Bracket Challenge. If your bracket is the best, you win a 55-inch 4K smart TV and a custom-fit mattress from our friends at Texas Mattress Makers. Just head on over to KHOU.com/brackets to fill out yours. March 16th, by the way, is the deadline, so hurry up and get that in. All this leading up to the Final Four here in H-Town. The big weekend starting March 31st will be packed with events, including the Fan Fest presented by Capital One. Here are the dates for Fan Fest. We have information on tickets and other events, including the music festival. All of it on KHOU.com. All right, did you get some sleep last night? It's time now for a check of the weather. A beautiful Sunday. Cooler and a little less humid. Meteorologist Pat Kavlin here with what we can expect for the work week.
Yeah,
Pat.
So we had a bump in the numbers today when we had that little bit of window of sunshine. It was like from, 10 a.m. through about 3 o'clock. And now the clouds are out there. Those rolled in pretty fast. But before the clouds got here, we made it to 84 degrees. So definitely another warm day in the books. A little farther away from the record than we were yesterday. But check these out right now. The state temperatures. Look down towards Zapata. 99 degrees. It was 101 there earlier this afternoon. We are now down to 67 here in the city, but some summertime heat out across South Texas. As we get you into tomorrow, though, it's dry and it's even cooler than it was today. Some real cool air is going to move in for tonight and into tomorrow afternoon. Our next shower chance comes in for Tuesday, although that looks pretty sparse. I think our next real chance for rain and even storms will come in by Thursday and Thursday evening. By the way, tomorrow morning will be chilly. Look at the numbers here. Low 50s for a good part of the area. Upper 40s as you go north and east of the city. We'll be in the mid 50s down by the coast. So a big change from how it's felt over the last few weeks. Just keep that in mind as you're off to work tomorrow morning. Through the overnight, few clouds, much cooler than it's been. Again, temperatures around 50 degrees. For the day tomorrow, a mix of sunshine and clouds. It'll be cooler. It'll be dry. Temperatures top out in the low 70s. And then as we get you into Tuesday, a weak system will pass to our north. That could throw a shower our way across our northern counties. I think overall, though, it's a very isolated chance with just a mix of sunshine and clouds. High pressure across the midsection of the country is really going to keep our humidity on the lower side, at least for the first half of the week. I think by Wednesday, we get an east wind. That'll start to nudge up the numbers just a little bit ahead of that system for Thursday. But all in all, it's going to be a much cooler and drier week than we've seen over the past few weeks. So here's the humidity tracker. Monday, Tuesday, it's in the low category. You notice it comes back in time for Wednesday and Thursday. And again, that's ahead of our next storm system. As that storm system passes, humidity crashes, and we are back to the really comfortable stuff as we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So a really nice stretch of weather coming up here. There's future track Monday morning, mid-50s. Again, few clouds out there to start, but we are dry. As the day goes on, more sunshine takes over. Temperatures will climb into the low 70s. And then as we get you into Tuesday morning, again, upper 40s, low 50s for your morning temperatures. And then by the afternoon, notice we go from sunshine to a couple clouds. This newest model run keeping the shower chances off to the north. I put us in for a 20% chance. It's the exception, not the rule. Temperatures in the mid-60s. And then we see a better chance for rain again Thursday night into Friday. But look at the morning temperatures. This is really where you really notice the cool-off this week. 50 Monday morning, 52 Tuesday morning, upper 40s for Wednesday morning. A quick bump for Thursday morning with more humidity in the picture, and then back to the 40s and 50s as we get into the end of the week. And as we get into the start of spring, temperatures look to be cooler than normal across the deep and the mid-south here, including us in Texas. I don't think it's going to be very long-lived, and I don't think we're expecting any sub-freezing temperatures. 50 tonight, though, with a few clouds. Tomorrow up to 72. Mix of sun and clouds, a really nice day. There's the 7-day forecast. 65 with an isolated shower chance on Tuesday. Back to the mid-70s Wednesday. Humidity creeps up by the afternoon. A late storm chance then by Thursday. That'll give us some showers for Friday morning. Cheryl, by Friday afternoon, evening for St. Patrick's Day, things dry out. We're in the 60s next weekend.
Hey, it'll be hot enough soon enough. We'll go ahead and enjoy these cooler temps while we can.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Pat. And now to some of the other top stories we are following on this Sunday. A hearing is set for Wednesday in the lawsuit filed over the abortion pill mifepristone. But according to the Washington Post, the Texas judge overseeing the case, Judge Matthew Kaczmarek, said he would delay the hearing until late Tuesday to minimize disruptions and possible protests. Normally, this kind of hearing would be made public quickly, so anyone tracking the case online could see it. An anti-abortion group filed a lawsuit seeking to revoke the FDA's approval of mifepristone. The group claims the FDA purposely ignored the drug's alleged harmful side effects, but the FDA says the drug, which part of a two-step abortion protocol, is safe. A bill introduced in the state Senate would allow families to use tax dollars to send their children to private schools. The Texas Tribune reports Senate Bill 8 calls for families to receive up to $8,000 per student through an educational savings account. The bill would also impose new rules on how gender and sexual orientation is taught in all grades. It has the backing of Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and Governor Greg Abbott. All right, it's Go Tejano Day at the rodeo. Thousands have been filing into NRG Park for this annual salute to Hispanic culture. Brittany Ford takes us there.
Mi Mariachi Imperial de America. Behind the charro suits. Instruments. And captivating vocals is a tradition that's been in Jose Longoria's family for decades.
Mariachi Imperial has been in existence for a little bit over like 30 years. So something that my father, Adrian Longoria, gave us.
That has continued through his sons, who are fourth-generation members.
Probably around middle school, that's when I learned the rest of the instruments from my dad.
The group has been competing in the Houston Livestock and Rodeo Show's mariachi contest dating back to the late 90s, taking home a first place and 2 second place finishes over the years. But leaving with a trophy isn't everything for this family.
That's the most important thing, that the tradition of mariachi continues to grow and it doesn't disappear. Very grateful to carry that tradition, you know, for me and my brothers to continue what my grandparents, my ancestors have passed.
The opportunity to showcase their rich Hispanic heritage.
We're definitely showing the mariachi culture to everybody because, you know, if anything, mariachi is starting to gradually grow here in the Houston community.
By putting on a good show.
The people love it, and we're just sharing the culture that we love.
Brittany Ford, KHOU 11 News.
And that's going to do it for us for now. Thanks so much for watching our webcast. We'll have much more on TV tonight at 10 o'clock. See you then.